Trees. That was dumb. Trees. Trees are what I'm going to be making today out of pipe cleaners. Prompt, nocturnal. You're probably wondering what that has to do with trees. Well, a tree is definitely like the main kind of part of the build, but how it connects to a nocturnal is I have this tiny little owl that I actually bought for a D&D campaign and never ended up using. And I'm gonna paint this up and add it to the tree at the end. Because nothing says nocturnal like an owl, right? That's like the nocturnal animal I feel like that everybody thinks of. I have seen so many people make pipe cleaner trees. I've never done it myself, which seems to be the theme of this Junktober, things Betsy has never done. But I feel like I could do it. I've done a little research, not a ton. Big wad of pipe cleaners. And if you have forgotten, the tree is going to go right here in this center area. This probably goes without saying and is very obvious by now, but this is not a tutorial. If it turns out great, then sure, follow what I'm doing. But I am making this up, sort of. I think you just twist everything. I'm kind of purposely trying to make it pretty gnarly. I'm doing like all the pipe cleaners twisted together, but I'm also making like some bigger kind of cool twists. And you want to leave a good bit of pipe cleaners at the bottom as well as at the top, especially because that's where like the gnarly like branches are going to be, and this is going to be the roots. So I've got this basic shape. Maybe I need a little bit more. And then I think what you do after this is just take some of these smaller bits. I'm going to start with the roots and spread them out a little bit and then kind of twist them to like make roots coming out. Now I also think, because I haven't done this before, that you want to kind of do the same thing that you did with the main tree, where you leave some loose ends that can then branch out further from this main kind of artery. You want to do the same thing with the top as well. Maybe I'm like just way too optimistic, but I just cannot see this not working. Yeah, I'm going to kind of vary up the roots. Like some are going to be a bit thicker. Some are going to be maybe just two pipe cleaners knotted together. This is pretty sturdy already, but I don't think you have to worry too much about it being like crazy sturdy because I will be adding so much glue. Now is probably a good time to just make sure that I have the size right. So some of these roots I'm gonna have to like trim so that it fits in here. Okay, the good news, sculpting this is working very well. So I've got like all the roots. They look kind of weird here because I have them positioned to how they roughly I want them to be. Maybe these I'll kind of tuck under or tuck into this little crack here. These ones have kind of a cool little outlet of how they could go through this crack, and I can glue them down and they can look like they're gonna go in the ground and so on and so forth. It's working really well. It's really easy to position. I can't wait to do the top. The issue here is that I'm worried that once I add the glue, I'm not gonna be able to like position this as easily. Am I overthinking this? I mean, almost certainly yes, right? Yeah, I'm overthinking it. All right, I finished the main shape. I really underestimated how fun this would be. Like I thought this would be kind of a slog, but I wanted to try it. I've never tried it before. I don't know, I thought this was gonna be like hard and like annoying. And I actually found it extremely fun. The plan is to put glue all over this, kind of rub it with the tip of the glue gun as I'm gluing it to just make a bark looking texture. This might be kind of difficult. A lot of people at this point will take a lighter and burn off the fuzzy parts. But I think that's usually the approach when you're not doing the glue gun method, which I'm gonna do. I just don't think burning off the fuzzies is gonna be necessary for me. I also just don't want to. I don't wanna burn all this weird plastic synthetic fiber. if I run the hot kind of needle along the glue, you can kind of create like a bark texture by kind of carving it in with a hot needle. I also do have a soldering iron, which if I find that this is taking way too long, I'm just gonna slather this whole thing with glue and then maybe bust out the soldering iron because it gets a little hotter, has a more fine tip. This isn't like difficult per se. It's annoying. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to come in with the soldering iron because I'm just not gonna get the fine detail that I'm looking for with just the tip of this measly glue gun. Sorry, there's a lawnmower going outside, or a leaf blower. The texture is obviously ridiculous. You'll also probably notice a lot of the hot glue, you know, spider webby vibe. I am probably gonna wait till the end to peel all that off. One thing I don't like about it though is the ends are very club-like. So I'm thinking after I finish the first pass of hot glue, maybe even after I do the first pass of the soldering iron to clean up the texture, I'm thinking I'm going to take some various sized wire. I have this aluminum armature wire and I have this like garden wire, and make some extra tendrils. That leaf blower is so loud. Extra tendrils with that to see if I can add a little bit more nuance to the shape. And I think it's gonna work, but those are just some initial thoughts. Overall, like, I'm pleased with this result. I know it looks really janky right now, but the silhouette is fantastic. I'm loving the silhouette. The club ends are probably my biggest kind of dislike, but I'm pretty confident I can fix that. I'm gonna keep cooking on this with the hot glue gun. I'm almost done. Then I will bust out the soldering iron and carve in the detail. This is like a little bit of a brute force kind of method here, but I think it'll turn out all right. And I think it'll add some nice little gnarled details. Yeah, I love it. I'm obsessed. I think I'm finally done with this. Here she blows. The texture looks wicked. The glue gun took a long time, but man, it looks so cool. I cannot wait to get this painted up. There's no more little spider webby things. It's just pure tree. And it's cool. Got her in position. Now I just have to glue her in. First thing I'm gonna do, tacky glue. Put it down in the middle. I feel like I'm in the habit of not using enough glue, so I'm gonna stop doing that. I think it's sitting in there enough. Really push. All right, I'm gonna weigh down the roots that I've added some super glue to in hopes that maybe this can kinda lock it in. And that's gonna do it for this episode of Junktober. And if you're wondering, what about Mr. Owl? I know that the whole point of this prompt today is nocturnal, and this is sort of the man of the owl, man of the hour. But I'm hoping you can forgive this one little deviation. I have some other miniatures for this project that I'd like to paint up. But I think I'm gonna bust out my airbrush to prime these, and I'd rather just do them all in one fell swoop, and I'm not ready to do that today. So hopefully you will allow it. I'm certainly allowing it, and I've made up the rules. Perhaps we can consider the home for the owl to check that box of nocturnal. But stay tuned, because this bad boy is gonna be painted up soon and perched atop the tree. Thank you for watching. Come back tomorrow to see where we go to next with this spooky diorama.